This is Queen of the Park, a skateboarding competition for women, femme, trans, and queer skaters every spring at the beloved FDR skate park in South Philadelphia.
Last call, any princesses that haven't signed up yet, now is the time.
A group of women athletes started the competition in 2021, including one veteran skater who goes by the name Rips.
So pretty much a couple summers ago, I was out here skating, and it was like me and 12 other girls ripping, and like normally it's mostly men in here, so it was like abnormal, like on accident type shit. And turns out we were having mad fun, and I realized like, wow, we're all skating for no reason in particular, just because we love it. And I was like, it'd be cool if we had a goal to work towards, like a contest or something. So that's when it hit me like, yo, I need to start throwing a contest.
Another longtime skateboarder named Lauren manages all the art, crafts, and music that make Queen of the Park colorful.
I handled the vendors, advertising, just correlating with volunteers and helping like kind of delegate other jobs, kind of like art director, and the bands. I help curate, I get the bands, I make sure the bands know when they're playing. I'm kind of like the regulator.
We're Kelsey Cork from the Swims. We're honored to be here today for Queen of the Park.
Girl skating has started to become pretty heavy and relevant, but it's still not as like appreciated, or like, you know, like a lot of competitions will have like a girl like, you know, heat, and then it's like at 10 a.m. or something, you know what I mean? It's like early on.
The event has a series of heats where skaters traverse the park and show off their tricks for judges, followed by a championship round for the judges' favorites, plus a princess division for athletes 13 years old and younger.
It's not often that you see an only women's skate competition that's this big. There's like, I think 5 heats, and each has 5 competitors, so there's about 25 girls, and then there's the princesses, yeah.
The event starts at 1. I can feel the energy, everybody's hyped, ready to go. The anticipation, bro.
I'm trying to get like all my buddies to like sign up.
Ladies are ready and waiting. Start your kids, ladies.
What did you come here today to do?
Just f***ing skate with the ladies. I've skated every year because the energy is good every year. Ever since I started skating, I'm skating Queen of the Park.
I skated this year, I blew it last year, and I skated the year before.
What do you mean you blew it?
I think you started tripping too hard.
Yeah, I was tripping way too hard when they called my name. I couldn't get up off the ground.
Just weren't ready to.
I was here, but I was on another planet. I was like, "Fuck, dude, I'm such a failure." I had a bunch of people come out for me, and here I am just like laying on the ground like, "Ah!"
Put that on the radio.
What have you been looking forward to, like coming back this year?
Redemption.
Last year was my first year ever being here. I'm from Texas, near Austin. Came back for the second year to have fun. It's really fun. It's meet new people, new friends.
Why did you first start skateboarding?
Out of sheer pleasure. Just I wanted to. I saw other people doing it and it looked fun, and I broke myself off when I first started skating, and I have a metal in my ankle now, but that made me want to go even harder. And also the people that you are surrounded by, and it's just like fun. Like, it's just fun. I actually wasn't allowed at the skate park or like anywhere in that vicinity when I was growing up, and I always like longed to be in it. So in my adult years, when I met some ladies that skate, they kind of just introduced me to the community, and I just took it. I went from there.
Why did your family not want you to go to the skate park?
They were kind of religious, and like also like skate park was like associated with like deviancy, drugs, like whatever else, and like obviously there's parts of that everywhere, but there is so much more. There's so much more community and so much more like challenging yourself, but also like hyping each other up, and that made sense to be a part of. So I'm happy that I found it in my adult years.
How old are you?
I'm 13 years old.
And what did you come here today to do?
I came here to have fun, be
with other girl skateboarders, and I wanted to win the princess competition.
Who did you come here with today?
I came here with my family.
Do they come to a lot of your competitions?
Yeah, mostly my dad. My dad supports me a lot.
How did you first decide to start skateboarding? Did you know other people who were doing it too?
No, I know a lot of people. There's not many girls who skate in my area.
Do you feel like the people who are all skating together with you for the princess category, are people like friends with each other? They know each other?
Oh yes, everyone who skates any of the competition, we're super friendly with each other.
Do people ever become like rivals or really try to compete, or is it always friends?
It seems like everyone gets along with each other. We're just happy to have more girls that are skateboarding.
Have you ever had anyone in your life think skateboarding is too dangerous, or it's like not for you, like they tell you they don't want you to skateboard?
No, I'm very supported.
I used to live in a small town in New Jersey. There wasn't like a lot there. There weren't any other skaters. And it was kind of like an off and on thing until I was 15 when I lived in Texas, also very isolated in suburban hell. Yeah, and I was just skating all the time then by myself. A couple years later, we moved up here, and like I've been skating here at FDR since 2000.
I've been skating since I was 9, but I have a bone condition, so I had to like chill out because I got into a really bad accident. But now I'm trying to get back into it, but we both have new hardware in, so it's like harder to get back into it. You know, getting old sucks, man.
Yeah, it really does.
How old are you guys? Do you feel comfortable?
I'm about to be 30 in July.
I'm 23.
This is actually like where me and her met.
Yeah.
And then we also got married here.
Yeah, it's actually, yeah,
You got married in FDR?
Yeah, deadass. I met him here, and when I met him, I was really shy, and I was like trying to skate, but everyone there was like so good, and it was so intimidating, and I was like, I'm so shy, and he came over, and he was like, just get in, the water's fine. And I started trying to skate, and he was like egging me on and stuff, so then like after I was done skating, I was like, hey, can I get your Instagram?
And then we
and now we're married.
I started skating because I was here at FDR painting. It's like I started skating 4 years ago. This is the 4th Queen of the Park. One of my first big drop-ins was at Queen of the Park the first year, and it's on the Square Bowl. Just because the community is so supportive that it felt like this isn't a competition, it's something really cool to participate in. Like, it's a community-based thing, so it's not a competition, it's just a really great day for femmes to skate and to put the focus on feminine skaters is the goal, and so that's like, it's just for fun.
Yeah, nobody's here to win. Like the people who do win the contest, of course they're stoked and they're like, yeah, but that's not the point.
What did you come here to do?
So today I came here to vend, but also skate around a little bit. Not competing, but today I'm selling my creations, just clothing that I've customized in some way. I think that I found a community of people I related to more, because I feel like in the skater community there's a lot more creatives, a lot more open-minded people. For me, I'm a very social person. I've always, gone out and such, but never fully found like a community of people who really appreciated what I do and creativity and all that kind of stuff. But once I met skaters, there's a whole mindset of respect for other skaters and for art and stuff that helped me feel comfortable with my new friends and all that.
Unique photo of Bucks County Rare Coins made as a generous donation.
My daughter's skating in Queen of the Park. She's been skating for 5 years, so we're just here to support her.
How old is your daughter?
She is 17. We basically treat it as her sport, so we're kind of going somewhere every night, kind of like most people do with soccer or dance, which my other daughter does here. Every day we're at a skate park. She's doing her thing, so it's been a lot of fun.
Any other skaters in your family?
I did skate many, many moons ago, but she actually kind of just stumbled into it.
You were supportive because you had done skating before?
Yeah, absolutely. My wife is here today, my daughter, and her grandparents, so
amazing.
Everybody's all in.
Grandparents and other family members have come to the competitions before too?
Yeah, all the time. This is actually her first time competing in Queen of the Park. Last year, she was disappointed because we made her go to her cousin's graduation party instead of this. So, and we have another cousin that's actually had a graduation party today, and we were like, all right, we got to draw the line. We're coming to Queen of the Park. So, yeah.
How does FDR compare with the other locations you guys have been to?
There's absolutely nothing like FDR. It's unbelievable that it's a DIY park. It's this big. It's obviously grown and grown and grown over the years, and there's not a community like it that I've seen. I mean, the skate community in general is awesome, but the people that come here, all very welcoming and, obviously exude skateboarding, so it's just awesome.
Are most of the competitions you guys end up at gender exclusive competitions, like it's for girls, or there's different categories?
Well, not a lot of them have women's categories. I mean, more and more of them I think are starting to, but this is really cool to see one specifically designed for women.
Are a lot of them, like your daughter's competing against mostly boys?
Most of the time, yeah. Like last week, for example, at Charm City, they did have a women's division, but there were only 3 girls skating in it. So she also skated in intermediate, which was all boys aside from her, but she had a lot of fun doing it. And she actually ended up winning intermediate, so it was cool.
Are most things that she gets involved in organized, like there's an instructor, teacher, or is it a lot of just going out and doing things on your own?
She's basically completely self-taught. I mean, she gets tips from people at the skate park, older skaters and things like that, but she's never had any kind of formal training or anything like that. So, most of the places that we go to, it's similar to, I would say, the people at FDR, because the skate community in general is really supportive.
How do you think about levels of danger or risk of different skate parks?
Yeah.
Like FDR is a little more chaotic, a little more dangerous than
sure.
places.
It's definitely different here.
Do you feel there's appeal to that as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she loves this park, really, really loves it. Understands that there's some risk because there's a lot of blind spots too. And, in this competition, it's like a jam style, or even if you're just here day to day, there could be bikes flying around here or just about whatever, but it's just awesome though.
Yeah, this competition is more supervised and more organized. Try to be a little bit safer than other days at FDR.
Yes, absolutely.
What does FDR skate park look like for anyone who has not been here and seen it before?
Big and beautiful and crusty and flowy and challenging, but fun. Just fun.
It's the gnarliest skate park in the world. It's the raddest skate park in the world.
It looks like a concrete jungle, literally, with all the graffiti and all the art and the most gnarly things that you're like, how do people are skating this?
Chaos.
Organized chaos.
Organized chaos. Not OSHA approved, but
not OSHA approved.
I heard people get their rocked here. They got so hurt because it's scary. All the obstacles are huge. You definitely have to be really comfortable. I'm not even comfortable, I would say, skating around the big ramps.
What a lot of people say is if you can skate FDR, you can skate anything. It's super intimidating, but it looks not very welcoming, and it's very scary, but you get used to it.
Concrete, and there are pockets of things where you're oh, I'm gonna hit some little rocks. I'm gonna hit a little bit of sand, a little bit of dust. It's built in a way that's not the regular skate parks that you see. If you can skate this, you can skate in a lot of places.
This is the mother of all skate parks is these DIYs under bridges, because this was a lot like Burnside, and they're just big and they're not built conventionally because people just built them themselves. It's huge and it's gnarly.
What does gnarly mean?
Scary, but it's impressive. Yeah, in a good way. In a good way.
It's that little ooh.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's the sound.
Gnarly means hardcore. It means you better buckle up and strap in because you don't know what's coming next. It's gonna be intense every step of the way.
Gnarly, I would say it's really freaking cool. Gnarly, almost scary, almost sketchy, but really cool.
Definitely on the risky side. This is definitely not a park for a beginner, I'll say, but I've seen beginners start here as well, including myself. but I would definitely say it's on a higher level of chaotic.
So FDR is one of the gnarliest skate parks in the world. It's also DIY, so it's very grassroots, and it's the one spot where I felt most comfortable.
So why did you think that having it at the gnarliest park was what you wanted to do?
Because I think girls need to not be intimidated of their surroundings, and they should feel comfortable everywhere. So if you can do that here, you can do what you want to do anywhere.
What does gnarly mean for people who don't know what that means?
Big transitions and like parts that are so lumpy and f***ed up, and like it's just like big and scary, and like you get f***ing work skating here. Also, like you're standing on the deck of a bowl, you have like this much platform to stand on, and it's like there might be like a 12-foot drop behind you, or like weird shit like that. There's no rules here. It's just a big party.
I think it depends on who you are. You know, I've seen people be like horrified and afraid, you know, or just intimidated. It's pretty big, it's loud, it's beautiful. You know, I always kind of encourage people just to check it out. It's like a work of art, you know, for sure. And I think it's indicative of people building.
Versus like city planning, like people who don't know how to skate. A skater-made park, they really know what they want, and like they know what's like, oh, like that's a good run-up, that's actually feasible, like that's like something we could actually skate, instead of like someone who's making the park and they have no idea like what to even put or how to make a layout.
Like this place is built for the skaters, by the skaters. Like everything that's done here was built by us, not by the state. The state only gave us like the land to work with like a couple years back. But in general, it's like everything that we raise our money, and like we do all the concrete work, the rebar work, we do everything down here. It's just us.
Yep, there's been a bunch of phases where I've helped build. It's all grassroots, so we raise up money as we're building it, and then we use that money to build more.
I've been down here 15 years, volunteering my time, building, learning, and growing as a human.
If you come down here consistently, you come to realize you need the help, because it's like if you're down here, coming down here and having fun and doing it for free, and you don't have to pay for an entry fee or anything like that, you don't need to sign a waiver, you gotta help, man.
If you're having fun, why not chip in?
Like,
it's something that you're passionate about.
It's a community thing here, because it's like as long as you put your like 2 cents in and like try to help out for a bit, like you're gonna be accepted down here the entire time you're down here, even if you are from a different state or whatever. That's where you get your main acceptance, is helping, or helping clean up or whatever, making that spot of like, oh,
Get
you
your
actually
elbows
care.
dirty.
Yeah.
Put some elbow grease in there. Let's get this done.
It feels a lot like an army and a brotherhood in a sense, and like when we're building and we're working, I have soldiers. Like, you know, people are down to help, and even in my real life, like, you know, I'm like, hey, like I need help with this, and there is a real sense of community. And I sometimes even forget in other aspects of my life where I'm like, yeah, like, oh, people don't share and like their tools or their knowledge, or like be like, oh yeah, you need help with that? I'll show up and do 12 hours of labor for you. Yeah. For here, I love being a soldier and working hard and learning. Hey, how are you? Good to see you. I have a lot of building projects, and I make sure a lot of art gets here and is happening, and that's...
You guys did new painting for this competition too.
Yeah, totally, and that's like an element of it. The art part is what motivates me personally to like keep this rolling and rocking.
I spoke with Tara, the land care manager at FDR Park, about the specific relationship between the city government and this special DIY skate park.
Our previous park director called it beautiful chaos, and that's kind of what it is. It's a very interesting intersection of skate park community, park goers. They're on Department of Transportation space, but we kind of co-share it, and so we help them out when we can. We loosely organize with them as much as you can organize with a grassroots organization the way that they are.
Have you skated in the skate park?
No, we have skateboarded our like little mascot down the half pipe, but not myself, no.
Are there other staffers who
Yes,
skate?
we have 2 staff members who were skate park goers before they became staff, and so they're always ones that tell us about the events that are going on here, because they stay abreast of it all. So we do coordinate with them, so we know when these events are happening and how they impact the rest of the park. Before 2020, we didn't have that coordination, so it was just everyone for themselves.
Yeah, you know, like as far as I'm concerned, this place has kind of felt like a sovereign state. It's cool. Like, I think the city, I don't agree with a lot of stuff in the city, but I think there's one thing where like we do a lot of beautiful things for people, and we're pretty open, but we want to be real and free. So
when you were first coming around, was the city paying attention to what was going on in the skate
No,
park?
the city was not. So that's why it's like a weird, like we try to play the game to keep what we got going on. And people like try to come and change it and be like mad about what this is. And it's just kind of like, people kind of don't appreciate the blood, sweat, and tears and the hours upon hours of labor, of free labor that built this, you know what I mean? And the vision.
People who don't necessarily like enjoy this space will call and have the graffiti removed, but the city knows enough to only paint over the things that are not art. And by that I mean like scribbles or things that are incoherent or hate speech, stuff like that. All the rest of it is left. Even if someone makes a phone call to say there's graffiti under 95, the city knows to come here and leave it alone. Out of every activity and community that happens here, the skate park is probably the one that gets the least complaints. You would be surprised because people want their permits and people want to use the fields and people want that tree not to be cut down and all this other stuff. And so I think that...
But in the skate park?
In the skate park, no, but I think there's some sort of mental separation where people just say more stuff is allowed to happen here than here. So there's less complaints here because it's just like...
People kind of deal with it as it comes.
They kind of deal with it as it comes.
And
absolutely.
Don't look to authority figures to intervene.
No, exactly. They try to contain it as much as they can and self-organize before it gets to us. For their events that would stay later than the park curfew, we have to step in on that and allow the First District Police to know when events are happening so they're allowed to stay here and that the gates won't get locked on them. So we are coordinating a lot of that stuff now that before the police would just come in and kick them out, but now we have a relationship with them as well.
You guys are protecting them from the police.
We are. We're working all together to get everyone what they need for these events. Yeah. I think the events that they have bring a diversity of people and it just activates the park in a different way than the other traditional sports can. I mean, skateboarding is a sport for sure, but the culture here is so organized but disorganized. It's chaotic but beautiful. It's like all these juxtaposition of all these cool things, and you actually don't see that in any of the other spaces here. And so when this is really activated, then all the communities here can see that, and I think that really adds that part of it. Also, it adds some culture and tradition because they've been here for such a long time as a staple before some of these other communities have been here. So yeah. After their half pipe burned down 2 summers ago, we were able to source stone for them from the flower show that was here, and we gave them all the pavers, the water, to help them with their rebuild of that ramp. It was actually the most iconic, I think, structure that was here, and when it was burning down, it was so it was very unfortunate and very sad to see it go. And what they've replaced it with, unfortunately, is not going to be at the grandeur of what it was, but they are no longer allowed to build with wood here, only stone. So we try to help them out with all this, the short dumping of stone, pavers from other events. We just try and like gather stone from them to help them rebuild. Yeah.
So now there's more of a relationship with the city and the park.
Vaguely. It's like, yeah, touching, yeah.
What kind of influence do you think that has had on what goes on here? Any?
No. I mean, I think we're a lot less likely to have parties as much because we want to be able to do things that matter to us. You know what I mean? People are like, oh, back in the day it would be like crazy punk shows all the time, which is rad, but we're like, we don't want to get it like out of hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like what would the events in the past have been like compared to what's here today?
So back in the day, Philly was way wilder, way gnarly, like way more renegade, and like, it is what it is. The city's changed, so. But I love FDR. I think it still has that sense.
So how would you describe what it used to be? Without getting anybody in trouble.
Yeah, let's say f***ing gnarly. A lot more mosh pit style, a lot more aggression and masculinity coming through, and like kind of like turf war style. Like the people that skate in here day in, day out, they don't want the locals coming with their scooter kids and like getting in their way, like that. Yeah, these are like adults who are ready to go full bore and like balls to the walls for skateboarding.
And you said you feel like it's not that way so much anymore, which you think is lame?
Yeah, it's kind of timid now. And, I don't mind it, but culturally it was more fun back then. Just intense.
the park itself also has kind of like a lore of what happens down here. And
like
so,
what do the people think?
I think mischievous things happen under 95, behind things, you know. So I think that the skate park, when it came here, was bringing a culture down, but then it kind of added to the kind of mischief happens under 95 type of thing, because no one's policing it. Department of Transportation is not here. Parks and Rec stayed on this side of the fence, but now we're trying to blend it because it is a whole park community. It does impact the park. There's no way that this space can be separate from this space.
Is there anything that you don't like about FDR Skate Park as it is, or you would want to change?
It's a little dirty, but other than that,
we kind of leave their space alone in terms of cleaning it because we let them do that for themselves. But because we use this space for parking, we have to do a lot of cleaning under here for the weekends. So I would like for a little bit more frequent cleanup of the space, just so other park users could use it as well. Yeah, and I think the trash kind of adds to somewhat of the aesthetics, but when you want to attract new folks who maybe are put off by seeing it for the first time, a little cleaner would attract more people, younger people, people with kids who have skateboarding interests but don't want to take them here because they don't think it's safe maybe. Yeah.
Do you feel like Queen of the Park brings out more people who are like families with kids, not as serious about intense skateboarding?
I do. And there's nothing wrong with that since I have a family of my own now.
Do you feel that there's tension between making it more safe and welcoming for women and non-male skaters and keeping it raw?
Yeah, so I would say there are definitely some locals who will never show up here on the day of just because they don't like it. They don't like what we're about.
Like serious skateboarders who are not happy about Queen of the Park happening?
Right, but it's 2024, we're inclusive at this point, so it is what it is, and we're happy to keep it rolling.
Right, because there's a threshold even with our other communities like the Southeast Asian market. Once you make it too good, now you have a whole other community of people who come, and then the people who it was intended for are pushed out a little bit. And so how do you strike that balance of the people who need to use it, and the people who want to use it or interested can use it too? So
to me, I think that this is a place that it was always, if you want to show up, you can be here. And I don't think I go out of my way to make people feel comfortable or invited, because sometimes that gets out of hand, like where people feel entitled and want to change things or are mad when it's like, oh, this is how it is, or this is what is great about this. But also at the same time, if you don't feel comfortable, whatever, there's nothing I can go out of my way too much to do. Like, you know what I mean? Sometimes that's just that's honestly your skewed vision of something. It's pretty subjective, about what that is. And the reality is it's always been there. You could show up whenever you want. I do think sometimes if it's too approachable, that, it gets overrun and kind of taken over by people who don't even understand or appreciate the value of it, so I don't want to go out of my way to be too, accessible.
Do you feel like this competition has more younger people and also parents and grandparents, support of families and kids who are in school compared to other skate competitions?
Yeah, totally. I always say, no other event here am I it's kid friendly, unless it's you're the type of person to bring your kid to something like this. But this is the one event where because I have a diverse array of friends, of all walks of life, and I'll be this is kid friendly, you know what I mean, this event. And I think the first time we had ever done it, I ran into people 6-year-old women who I know in other realms of my life, and I was like, what are you doing? They weren't here for me. They didn't even know I was a part of it. And I was like, what are you doing here? So I think the women, the kind of supporting women is the draw of a more diverse crowd than you would normally attract to a skate competition. And I think we do a good job of that because we add art and we add music and we kind of diversify what you can even experience here. I think it's the full package.
Do you think there's any tension between trying to make it more accessible and more welcoming, specifically for women and non-male skaters today, and making it too accessible or too safe?
I don't think it has to do with man and women. The reality is the feminine urge is this is what we created with we're organized and we do art and do whatever, compared to more of the masculine events. But it's not about man or woman. It's more about kind of the idea of people feeling entitled to this place. I've had people be doing shows here and without letting us.
Punk band.
Yeah, or not, trying to have events here or, being mad for like, yeah, we don't do events. Like, we're not a venue. But at the end of the day, it is about skating. This space was built for skating, and it can get out of hand when people kind of overrun things. So in no way, if anybody's ever kind of upset about the like progress, it might be more about like almost like the gentrification of it, opposed to the male-female aspect to it. You know what I mean? Like, it just so happens that like, the female urge is a little bit more organized and attractive to a diverse crowd. You know what I mean? And which I'm okay with, but again, I don't want it to take away from what this place is. I don't necessarily want a family to come here on a random Tuesday and be upset that some dude skating doesn't want their kid learning how to skate in the middle of the bowl and be in the way. There's a traffic, there's rules, there's laws. It is very much, a society and an organization that's raw and different. And that's our freedom, because there are other skate parks to go to. Oh,
You can hear fans around the park slap their wooden skateboards against the concrete ground when they see someone land a trick or even just attempt a trick.
What do you like about skateboarding here?
It's just fun to find the pockets that you can hit, try other things. There's a bowl up there that's pretty intense, and just dropping into that and actually doing shit in there is super fun and cool.
You've got knee pads on right now. Do you wear elbow pads and helmet all the time or sometimes not?
I started wearing my knee pads because I fell on my knee like 2 months ago and it hurt to walk for like a month. I started wearing my knee pads and I wear my wrist guards sometimes, but that's really the only gear I wear.
I wear knee pads for sure now. I didn't used to, but I'm hitting the age where everything hurts a little bit more. And then I was given a helmet that fits my afro by S1 for roller skates, so they gave it to me and it fits. So I wear it sometimes, but not often. But wear your helmet if you need to. My afro, I feel like saves my head.
Do you feel like you skate safe or you skate kind of dangerous?
It depends on where I'm at. Like, I'll skate as safe as I can here. Like, I mean, even just dropping in on some of these things is like a little sketchy at first, but then once you do it, you're like, okay, and then you just like find something. For me, I stay pretty safe because I know I'm also here to do other things, and I don't want to like really injure myself too bad. But if I'm in the right mood, I might start trying some like more dangerous. I mean, anything you're trying on a skateboard is inherently dangerous, but as long as you have your pads on and stuff, but you definitely want to have your pads on when you're doing gnarly stuff like this.
Do you feel like you skate more on the safe side of things or more on the dangerous and risky side?
It matters how I feel. Like, if I feel risky, I'll do it.
Do you wear a helmet and knee pads and elbow pads?
I wear knee pads sometimes, because I wear a lot of skirts and shorts. Yeah.
I wear knee pads mostly. If I'm like doing something that I'm like scaring myself a little bit, I'll maybe get fully padded. I have a helmet. I'm ashamed to say that I really don't wear it as much as I should, or at all really. But I've worn it once when I was afraid to do something because I had hit my head, so I put my helmet on.
Do you ever meet people who discourage wearing the pads and wearing the helmet?
No, never. And I never met anyone who like makes fun of, funny enough, people starting out feel like nerdy or something wearing pads. I'm like, no, you need to, because that's going to give you the ability to really practice and try things. That's going to get you better. It's not like a skill level thing. It's just like what people prefer, their comfort. There are people who are pros who wear full pads and still skate like good and really gnarly, insane, whatever. And just because they're wearing pads, but some people think it's kind of like nerdy or whatever. I don't think so. It's just safety. I mean, if anything, sometimes I feel like it's restricting. So that's why some people won't like it, or that's why I won't wear it sometimes. But I almost always have my knee pads.
I also feel like wearing some pads can make you skate better. Yes. Like, it will change your confidence, yes, right?
Exactly. That's what I was saying. Like, when I started skating and I was fully padded, like, I wouldn't have been tried a lot of the stuff because I fell a lot, and I still do fall a lot. And the only reason I don't skate fully padded anymore is because I realized it did free up a lot of mobility, but I think it's just good to like keep it on.
I take the safer approach. I feel like I don't send stuff.
Send stuff?
Yeah, I do. I take baby steps. I work my way into it as carefully as possible, and then I'll send it afterwards. Like once I've done it once, I'll do it. But when I'm learning something new, I have to like dip my toes in a little bit before jumping in.
It depends on the day, to be honest with you. I wish I could say that I kept it safe, but I really just, if I feel it that day, then I feel it. If I don't, then I don't. And I try to just listen to my body and to see where I'm at so I don't injure myself again, because that's like, when you're out and you're injured, all you want to do is skate. And it sucks to not be able to do that, but...
I feel safe here, which is ironic, because like, look at the f***ing place. Nobody's gonna fuck with me. Nobody's gonna like try to like harm me because I'm trans. Like, I've had like bad shit happen in other spots aplenty, but like here it's just like so weird and punk and just like nobody's trying to do shit here.
Do you think that like the safety of the park, like whether it's gnarly or not, and like whether people are drinking or doing drugs at the competition, do you think like making it safer is related to getting more non-male or marginalized skaters involved?
I mean, it's nice when that happens, but like, I don't think that like that really plays a difference in like if it's going to be a good day or what. It's just like when rad people show up, and there are a lot of rad people, regardless of like what their gender or color or any of that is. There's a lot of rad people who come here on a regular basis. There's a lot of people I genuinely love. It has discouraged skaters I really like. Like, I'm not gonna name any names, but like pros I really like who are good people, and I'm like, I'll run into them, and they're like, how come I never see you at FDR? And like, somebody who I really like said, dude, I'm so scared of that place, the big transitions, and like, I was like, oh man, because I really like the guy. But like, I don't know, I don't think it really deters too much. It's just like, I don't know. I've been here for so long, like trying to describe that is like trying to bite onto my own teeth.
I think that girls aren't really exposed to parks like this a lot because there aren't a lot of parks like this, so you have to travel, and not everyone's able to travel like that. So I think if there were more skate parks like FDR where they have like some of the more like, because skateboarding is about pushing yourself, like even if it's not like necessarily the safest thing, like you should be trying to push yourself at least a little bit.
Personally, like, I think that anybody can do anything that they put their mind to, and even though that the spaces have not been particularly like friendly or welcoming to loads of different types of people, you kind of just push your way in and do what you need to do and just show up for yourself and the people around you, and that just kind of makes everything grow. So to me, it's like, look, like, we can all shred, we can all have a good time. Like, do you want to skate or not?
A lot of different parts of the park design affect who feels like they belong in this space.
Things like well-lit parking lots and like lights around the park and stuff like that. That's what, or like location of a skate park too. I think
like
about that.
Having a bathroom and porta potties versus people have to go like on the ground in the woods.
Yeah, I think about that.
I'm a feral peer for life, so it doesn't matter to me, but the lights for sure, and kind of the area of the city, because there is harassment still, just like when you are existing as a femme-presenting person walking through the world. So the skate park is not going to be different, and there's not always people who are skating hanging out at the skate park too.
Yeah,
so
sometimes people just come here to do drugs. I'm not even gonna lie, like, and it's scary, but I don't know, there are parks in Austin that I won't go to because they're like surrounded by woods and there's no lights. And I'm like, okay, that looks like a place that I'm gonna get snatched. I'm gonna get grabbed.
Safety for like, if you're going by yourself, I think that like, it is easier, especially if you're beginning, to go to somewhere that is like, has a time, has lights, is close to bathrooms, is this and that. But at the end of the day, like if you squat up and just go, or bring a couple people and understand that you should be here, And if there is anything, like learning how to de-escalate the situation so we don't have to deal with that is
There's safety
it's all
in
you can really
numbers
do.
too. There's
Right.
safety in numbers. Like FDR is definitely somewhere that as a woman you should probably come here with friends. It's like Burnside. Like you don't really go to these places by yourself as a girl.
At least at night. Like morning time is like whatever, but nighttime is again anywhere as like a femme presenting person, like at any point. For anyone, really. Like
it can be awkward, you know, going places alone, but once you start doing it and just start getting in the groove of things, it's cool. But it definitely, you find yourself around a lot of guys, but once you like meet the girls and you find the places where you guys can skate together, then it's really fun to skate with a group of girls. We learn a lot from each other, I think. Yeah, all skaters really. But you know, sometimes guys like are just like the girls.
Push people to the side or ignore what people are doing as a skater?
Yeah, I mean, certain guys are really not, I'm not generalizing it by any means, but certain guys are really, you know, nice and cool and friends just like everyone else, but then certain people are a little more shy or feel like they can't like talk to you or whatever, maybe because you just for the mere fact that you're a girl sometimes. Could just be my experience though.
There's like a crew at FDR that's like notoriously like, those are the FDR guys, so it can get very masculine very fast.
Have you had to deal with that?
No, I don't really skate here, so that's why, but probably other people have. But no hate to them, like they've been here, they made this park themselves, so like, just in skating, there's a lot of like guys that are like heads, like assholes, so like you're gonna get them anywhere, but here like it can be very intimidating for sure to come.
When people are acting like heads, do you ever try and deal with them, or do you just walk away and go somewhere else?
If they're a dickhead to me, like yeah, I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna like, a lot of guys will try to snake me, like go in front of me, and I'm like, or like I'll just be like, I'm very confrontational, so yeah, I'll say something. But for other people, other like women and like LGBTQ skaters who are like already feel alienated, it's probably hard for them to speak up.
How would you describe like the more masculine events that take place here? Like what would you say is the difference?
They're just more raw, like, you know, like less thought about, you know, like
less thought out.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And like they're great in their own way too. You know what I'm saying? So they're fantastic. And you know, I always have to end up helping as far as like if they want bands, like I'm definitely the person they call. And I'm in a punk band, so it's like I'm in that world. So I can easily be like, I got a bunch of bands, let's make it happen and organize it.
So prior to my contest, if you were a girl and you wanted to enter, like, so let's say Sober vs. Wasted, our other contest, you could. But like I said, you know, it's kind of like intense. You might get body slammed by a full-grown male. You know, it's like you're risking it. So this way we don't have to risk it.
Yeah, like today is like, it's kind of like heaven on earth, and then you come for the 4th of July and it's a whole different animal. It's a toss-up. It's hell on earth, but sometimes it's in a good way, sometimes it's in a bad way. I've been to a lot of 4th of Julys. I've seen, there have been great years, there have been horrible years. It's just like here, it's like everybody's like, wow, and they're like so like positive and nice. There's a lot more drinking going on the 4th of July, and alcohol ruins everything.
Thank you for clearing out. We're starting in 2 minutes.
There's tons of heckling in skateboarding in general, and a lot of times the heckling isn't even that personal, you know, opposed to being like, you know, I hear, oh, you suck, like, you know what I mean? And I think sometimes that gets misconstrued as like very like indicative of sexuality, like gender. Like, you know, somebody like, I was a mechanic for a long time in Jersey with a bunch of old dudes, and I never like got, you know, those dudes are not the most, you know, liberal dudes. I never had an issue being a woman. My biggest issue was we communicate differently, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. But so, honestly, there are dudes who are just like, blah, they're just miserable. They hate everything.
They tell people you suck.
Yeah, totally, you know what I mean?
And is
but
that
like,
more likely to discourage the women and non-male skaters?
Yeah, I mean, there's dudes. Like, when I first started skating FDR, do you know how many dudes were like, I can't believe you skate there. I'm so scared to skate there. Like, they were just like, I'm scared to skate there because they're intimidated, because people are mean. Like, you know, to dudes, you know. And sometimes people like, oh, I'm a woman, that's why they're mean. It's like, nope, they're just mean. Like, but, you know, the skateboarding has changed. Like, people aren't that mean anymore. Like, I don't ever witness that. I do have certain things, but at the end of the day, it's certain people. It's not indicative of a giant thought.
Do you feel like heckling as like part of the culture of skating is at all like helpful or?
Well, I think now that skating is more diverse and more variety of human skate. Like before, you know, you looked at skating in the 90s, that was like broken homes, how to get out of your house. Yeah, in the 90s, it was like very like specific kind of vibe. Whereas like, oh, you know, business people, whatever, everybody has they're getting something different from it. So it depends on what you're getting from it. I know I personally skate better when I'm heckled because, you know, that fires me up. Like,
I'm all for it. It makes you stronger. And if you can't take the heckling, go skate somewhere else.
Do you heckle people?
Lovingly, but like honestly, it depends. I'm a bartender. I'm a social person. Yeah. I read the room.
Could you do an example of what it sounds like for you to heckle someone at a skate park?
Like, get it, you suck. Like, you know what I mean? But I'll say it in that way. You're like, oh, you had that. You
someone you know or someone who you don't know? You would say that.
If they're like going for something, maybe I would, and I'm hyped for them. You know what I mean? But for the most part, somebody I would know. Yeah, I'm not like that crazy. But I've definitely experienced a lot of like cruel, evil people. But for me, it doesn't faze me. Like, I just keep going. It's more fuel for my fire. But you know, I could understand how anyone, regardless of gender, would be intimidated by that.
It seems like things today are pretty positive. Like the announcers, like hype people up a lot.
Totally, yeah. I think so. Yeah.
Drop it in. Keep going. You ladies are young. You can handle it all day. Yeah. Kill it. Let's go. Hype these ladies up. That was amazing.
Bring it back in. Up to the small.
It's not like a competition, like nobody's trying to beat anybody else. It's just more like, it's like going to a punk show where like you're going to see your friends' bands and the bands are just like, it's camaraderie and everybody's stoked on each other and everybody's there for each other. We're all performing rather than competing.
Competitions at FDR are different than skate competitions in general. This is a community event more than it is a skate competition. But I mean, competitions are important, especially for young ladies. It shows them that this is something that there are achievable steps. You know, there's somewhere to go, and it's like also exposure.
Competition creates visibility, or a big event creates visibility.
Yeah, big event creates visibility.
Why is it important to have competitions that are just for girls and non-male skaters?
I think it's important because when I was younger, I thought there wasn't many girls that should skate, but it really motivated me when I started seeing how girls could be so good and still be so successful at skateboarding.
I feel like there's not a lot of representation for women in skateboarding. We don't have a lot of spaces that are like exclusively ours, you know? And it's hard because guys will, in some cases, try to like intimidate you or try to make you feel as though you're less than. And so like giving girls the opportunity to see themselves in other people and see these girls out here that are shredding and doing it like in spite of all of the challenges that we have to face because of our gender. It's like, I think it's super important for girls that want to get into skateboarding or for little girls that have started skateboarding and like may not feel as though they belong.
It's a different vibe. It's just a different vibe, and I think that anyone needs to have certain spaces that are specifically for them in a way when they're an underrepresented part of society, where like your voice matters. We're not here to compare with each other. We're here to build up with each other so that we can exist together and like create things together and be legendary together. Like that's it. Like there's no like hierarchy of any of this stuff. Like, do you want to skate? Do you want to live your life? Do you want to do this? Like that's what we're here to do. So I think that it's necessary for us to come together as women and build each other up and have that specific space for each other and take that confidence and take it to whatever space that we're in, especially skating, because obviously like it's a touchy thing for a lot of people, and no one needs to be scared of skating, like, and no one should be scared of skating. Like it's for everyone.
It's just more comfortable, like feeling like this is our place rather than it's a guys comp or it's a competition, mostly guys, and us girls are just here like, yeah, we skate too. Like this is like for us.
Representation. You know, you need representation in order for people to feel like, oh, if they can do it, I can do it. And then it's just also good for like the youth as well. It's like, oh, these girls are like fucking ripped. It's like if they can rip, I can rip, and I want to be just like them. It's good to show that.
Is it important for you to have skaters really young and much older be skating together in the same competition? Like, why is that important?
I think it's important because, you know, you respect your elders, you learn from them, and they have that style that you could never have because you were never around in that time period where they learned what they learned. You know, so you can use what they learned and build off of that to be who you are. I think they're going to grow up to be awesome girls who are ready to run and, you know, hopefully they keep this competition alive.
Watching the princesses, watching the little girls, they shred. They're all like 10, like 12, it's 13 under, and they're all killing it. They're all ripping. So I love seeing that. There's this girl named Nina that competed with the princesses, and I follow her on Instagram, and I hope that she wins Princess of the Park because she shreds and she deserves it. That's what I hope happens.
Yeah, coming into the ramp. Frontside drive in the ramp. Feeble stall. Come on. We're not in Los Angeles, we're in Philadelphia. Come on, people, make some noise. These girls are shredding. Yeah! Buy some t-shirts and a poster. Yeah, Caroline, make it happen, make it happen. Come on, look at them knees. That was amazing. Yeah. Let's go, Caroline.
How did you feel about your run today?
I think I did really good in the princess run, and the second one I think I did pretty good, but I really just wanted to focus on the princess division.
Are there any specific tricks you were really aiming for today that you were able to include?
I was really happy. I landed some of my like square bowl tricks, and I did some really nice airs. I don't know, I had a lot of stuff planned. Oh yeah, and in the square bowl I did a 270 50-50, which I'm really proud of.
What does that mean for anyone who's not done a 270 before?
So you basically, it's almost like a 360, but you land almost halfway of your last spin, and I landed into a grind.
There's a wall ride I did in my run. Like you see where like there's people are like leaning, looking over the wall.
Yeah, I saw you.
It's like a quick like boom boom, and like I do that a lot, and that's kind of become like
So like getting the wheels,
fare.
all four wheels up onto like a vertical wall.
Yeah, bam, yeah, and dropping in on that wall too. I did both of those in my run.
How did you feel about your run today?
I was pretty gassed early on and like tired, just like winded, and like there were a handful of tricks I wanted to do. It was just like by the time I got to them, they were like, all right, time's up. I tried to do one last one, and as soon as I dropped in, there was like somebody else just like crisscrossing in front of me, like, oh shit. And like I had to like cut around them, and like I was out of speed, out of wind, out of time. But I'm still happy that, like, I made a bunch of my tricks. I'm happy that I fucking didn't do drugs today.
First place, Queen of the Park 2024 goes to Michelle!
Yeah, what do you think about that, Michelle? There you go. We got a string of blouse. Yeah. $1,000. Oh my.
We are bringing the
She's sharing it. That's amazing. She's sharing it. Oh.
The first place winner descended into the crowd and started giving away the cash and prizes to other skaters she had met that day.
We'll be bringing the party down past the Killer Pillar. Let's party in the parking lot, guys. If you see the winners, tap them up.
Have you ever had anyone in your life tell you that skateboarding is too dangerous, they don't want you to do it, or discourage you from skateboarding?
My dad. But then he was like okay about it.
How did you respond when he was saying he didn't want you to do it?
I just do it anyway. Like, what is he gonna do, you know? Yeah.
And then how come he came around and started supporting you later on?
Because I kept doing it. Yeah, it's like he knows he can't stop me, you know, so why bother?
Have you had anyone in your life who has tried to discourage you from skating, or?
Yeah, my parents, my family.
Why do they not want you to?
When I broke my ankle, they were so mad at me. They were like, stop skating. Like, I just ignore them. I'm like, I'm not gonna stop.
Naturally, family will be like, be careful, you know, but I'm an adult.
Yeah, everybody's super supportive, but you also surround yourself with other artists and stuff, so it's easy to be supportive.
I hate to say it, but now that it's in the Olympics, it's been like kind of an eye-opener for people that weren't really like into, like, accepted it as a sport.
My parents hate that I do this instead of working a job. I mean, I live with them. Like, I'm 41 and I live with my parents because that's rad. And they absolutely don't like that I've dedicated my life to skateboarding and art. Rather than, like, I can't hold a job to save my life.
Has anyone ever discouraged you from skateboarding?
Probably my parents.
How do you respond when they say that?
I say, well, you gotta take risks in life, you know? Like, I'm someone who usually is very cautious and paranoid of hurting myself, but for some reason with skating, it's like, that's the whole fun of it, is like you're challenging yourself and you learn to take a beating. You know, it's tough love. Like, you just learn to like eat and get back up and keep going, and life's really about getting beat up sometimes. But yeah, I usually respond by being like, it makes me happy though. Like, I've hurt myself so many times already and I still want to keep doing it. Like, it makes me happy, and you can't just avoid things in life just because of the chance that you might get hurt. You gotta chase after things. You gotta try things. You gotta learn how to be safe, learn how to bail. You know, you don't just learn how to skate. You learn how to bail. You learn how to, you know, avoid injury as much as possible, but it's inevitable. You can't be afraid to fall. You can't be afraid to get a little dinged up.
To people who are worried that skateboarding is dangerous or it's not for them, like, what do you tell them?
I think they should stick with it. You can learn how to fall, and it's really worth the falls that you take. It teaches like really good lessons in life of being able to like keep getting up and being able to like have that drive towards other things, knowing that even if you fail the first time, you can keep going.
You know, there's a lot of reputation. People think about FDR who haven't been here that it's not for them. What do you say to people who feel that way?
I mean, it's all in your head. Just get out there and skate. If you can't get out of that mindset, like, pick up a new hobby, you know? Get over yourself. Has nothing to do with ego. If you're out here trying and trying and trying, any skateboarder can respect that.
I feel like skaters are all like the outcasts, like people who like kind of stuck to themselves in school and stuff like that, but then like you're trying to figure out life, but you know you're different, and this is where you find those people. Seriously.
Is there anything that you wish were different about FDR or anything you would want to change?
No. Oh wait, you know what? You know what I would change? Bring our vert ramp back, because a couple years ago some burnt it down. I miss it.
I recorded this at Queen of the Park on Saturday, June 1st, 2024, and this year's Queen of the Park takes place on Saturday, June 7th, 2025. This recording featured live music by Kelsey Cork and the Swigs from Philadelphia. Thanks to Rips, Lauren, Tara, and all the skateboarders who spoke. And thanks to WPPM and Philly Community Access Media for supporting this project. For WPPM, I'm Thomas Hagen. Thanks for listening.